Hello students, and welcome to your second assignment in week 2 titled Week 2 Online Lab Physical Properties. This is your instructional video on how to complete this assignment. You will notice that the assignment is a content folder, meaning that it has multiple things within it. So in order to access the resources as well as the assignment, you will need to click on the Week 2 Online Lab Physical Properties title link, and that will bring you into the folder. Now there's a brief overview here on what to expect. There's also learning resources. With this assignment, we're diving into physical properties a little bit more, and specifically we're going to talk about density a little bit more. So it's important that you have learned or relearn the material on density. This link right here is a file from the online textbook that you can read to further your knowledge on density. And then there are videos here. This one is a review from the Learn assignment. But ultimately, these videos are going to review mass and volume. It's going to review density, what density is, and how would we calculate it. And then there is also a helpful video here on how we find density in a laboratory setting. So make sure that you watch these videos prior to doing the lab. And then when you are ready and you feel like you've learned the material, that is when you're going to access your online lab instructions and assignment. Your online lab is right here, this blue link titled Week 2 Online Lab Physical Properties Word document. And if you click on that, it'll download to your downloads. Now, since I'm in Chrome, my downloads are down here. If you're in Firefox, you might have an arrow up towards this side that would be blue to where you would find your downloads. Now, if I click on that and it opens, I will have my assignment open. Some of you might find that when you open Word documents and you start typing away, it doesn't do anything. Make sure that you click on Enable Editing up here prior to doing anything in your assignment. And that's going to enable you to be able to edit your assignment. This assignment has two parts to it. The assignment itself will use the online Explore Learning gizmos, so you need to make sure that you created your account in the Getting Started folder. If you did not do that, you will need to return to the Getting Started folder and complete that assignment, where it'll have you create your Explore Learning account so you can access the things that we use for the class. You want to make sure that you save this document if you're planning on typing in it into your personal desktop, or you can print it out and manually write your answers. It's entirely up to you. There are instructions here on how to open your gizmo that you will be using. There's a link here, and then it'll tell you to log in, and then what gizmo to look for in the chemistry tab, which is the density laboratory. We'll have an overview of why we're doing this, and I'll have you read that on your own. And then we'll get to the part where we have certain unknown pieces in this gizmo. Now, the unknown pieces, there's a total of 12. However, you can pick 6 of them. They can be any 6. However, if you have a sibling or friend in the course, you cannot double up on any of the unknowns. So if you have a sibling, you could do numbers 1 through 6, and your sibling could do numbers 7 through 12. It's entirely up to you on how you want to separate your unknowns. Just make sure you don't double up with a sibling or a friend if you have one in the course. But again, you will pick 6 unknown substances to do your observations on in this online lab setting. Now, the goal is to make sure you write down your unknown values in the data table here. You're going to write down the appearance. What does each unknown look like in the lab setting? Then you're going to take the mass of this, and there's going to be an instructional how-to video separate from this, but you will find the mass, and you're going to record the mass values for each one here. And then you're also going to find the volume of the substance. Now, since each of these unknowns is a solid and they're irregularly shaped, we have to use what's called water displacement. If you didn't watch the resource video that's in the folder, make sure you go back to that because it will explain how to do volume displacement. But that's how you're going to measure your volume value. And then when you have mass and volume, we can calculate density, and we do that by taking mass and divide it by the volume for the unknown that's given. So again, to find density, you would take a mass value here, divide it by the volume value here, and that would give you your density. That's going to be the trials that you do in terms of the lab. And then when you scroll down to part 2, you'll see a table here. And your job is to look at the densities that you calculated in your table and see if any of them match or are close to any of the materials that are below listed in this table. When you identify some of them, you will type the identified material over here in this right column here. When you're done with that, there are 4 questions at the end, so make sure that you read them carefully and you answer them. I always look for explanations and in-depth answers, so please make sure that when you are typing your answers, you support whatever it is that you need to, especially if it says explain your answer. When you're done filling out your data table and answering these questions, you will save this. If you did not save as to your personal desktop, please be sure to do that. So File, Save As, and then you'll be able to save that to your computer. And then you're going to submit that into this assignment form by clicking the Week 2 Online Lab Physical Properties title, and that'll have you enter into the Dropbox. And you will click the Browse My Computer option. You will select your file. You'll have to find it, but for example, if I found my file, I would click it and then click Open, and that'll attach my file. And then when I'm ready to submit, I would click the blue Submit button for grading. If you have any questions or you get stuck, make sure to email me. Otherwise, once you're done with this, feel free to move on to the 3rd assignment for your Week 2 folder.